Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 22. This is the SmackDown review where today we are going to look at SmackDown last night, May the 30th, 2025, the year of our Lord. And we're going to break it all down for you. As always, I am Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill, rocking some new hair for us today. So, guys, SmackDown was last night, and it was a good show. Cody finally came back, and it really felt a bit different, I think, like especially when we got to the end of that show. It actually felt like a little bit like SmackDown of old, although the show started off not so hot. So let's get right into that. So after a quick recap of what happened at the Saturday night's main event show, we got the usual shots of superstars arriving to the stadium. And then when we went out to the arena, Bianca Belair came out and addressing kind of her hometown. Her mom and dad were there, and she kind of wanted to remind everybody that she was still injured, but that she was still the EST of WWE, blah, 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 which brought out Naomi to kind of a chorus of boos. And Naomi said she wants Bianca's forgiveness, and then she kind of got a little bit emotional. Then she kind of, revealed that she broke into Bianca's house to look at some pictures. It was a little odd. And then, Naomi kind of got a little bit frustrated. She threatened Bianca, which led to Jade Cargill's music hitting, and they all kind of came down to the ring, including Nia Jax, which led to our first match of the evening, which was the women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Between those three women, Bianca obviously kind of made her way off. And before we get into the match, what did we think of the opening segment and the way this thing kind of kicked off SmackDown?
So it looks like they're just going to be when Bianca gets back, sort of transitioning Naomi and Jade's feud into probably Naomi and Bianca. I mean, it keeps us with Naomi's character arc still going. I don't know that I like the Naomi Jade thing not actually having a truly definitive ending, but that's part of the problem with WWE right now is a lack of definitive endings. But as far as the promo segment itself goes, I feel like this was probably not the best way to start the show off, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, and then also this kind of led into the Money in the Bank match too, the opening segment. It seems like to me they're trying to now put the Jade versus Nia as the catalyst for her storyline going forward now, and they're moving Naomi kind of off of that. I'm fine with it because you can't ride that out much longer. They weren't even doing a whole lot with it anyway, with the Jade and Naomi thing, except for a few spots here and there. I mean, it ramped up to WrestleMania, but then it's kind of died off since then. I completely forgot about the Jade Naomi thing until last night, to be perfectly honest with you. I completely forgot that they even had a feud going on because they haven't addressed it. But I do like to see this. More than likely, I'm wondering if this is going to be the match at Money in the Bank, is Naomi versus Bianca. Because I think they still need a women's match there, right?
Yeah, but Bianca's hand is still in the cast. I don't know if she's cleared to wrestle yet or not. And then the match from the actual Money in the Bank qualifier match was a little bit of a dumpster fire too. So,
oh my God, yeah, let's get into that because what a mess, especially the ending. Like what are we doing? You got Bianca or Naomi, what the hell's her name? Nia Jax attempting to do her bonsai drop off of the top rope there. Naomi rolls out the way. She lands on Jade, and then Naomi's supposed to come back into the ring and kind of roll her up, but Naomi can't roll her up correctly. And like you saw Nia like making a face like, what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What an absolute disaster. Like just an absolute disaster. And then Naomi at one point in time was supposed to do like a knee drop onto Jade, and she was kind of like going like this, like up in the air when she was, and Jade was like, "You're supposed to be punching me, you idiot!" Like what were we doing? It was an absolute disaster of a match. I mean, I'm fine with Naomi getting the win there. I mean, it probably makes sense, but what a disaster of a match! Absolute disaster.
That roll up just looked terrible too. It was probably one of the worst, strongest moves in all of wrestling I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really sloppy. But I mean, again, don't white knight on me here, okay, internet. But a lot of the women matches have been coming with a lot of botches lately, and it primarily because they're not utilizing a lot of good talent in these spots. I mean, of the 3 women in the ring, the most seasoned one and the better wrestler in the ring is Naomi. Out of those 3, Jade's still working on it. Nia, I can care less. Honestly, I can care less what they do with Nia. I think that she gets too much spotlight, in my opinion.
Yep.
They should be treating her how they treat Braun Strowman. Kind of like, bring her in every so often,
right,
just to carry over some other storyline and stuff like that. But they keep, plugging her into these championship matches, which I really don't care for. And she's not very good with the microphone either, even to carry a storyline. I'm being honest with you. She hasn't really had anything memorable she said on the microphone other than "my hole." Remember that one?
Yep.
Remember that one? I mean, that's like the most memorable thing she's ever said in a ring.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Think about that. That's the most memorable thing she's ever said on a microphone. And I just don't. Again, it was a sloppy match. Naomi's fine because of the 3 women, it's probably more likely to be a better contestant in there is Naomi. I think Nia Jackson did it a couple of times right. Didn't work out very well for her. I even recall you seeing her climbing up a ladder. Did she ever climb up a ladder?
I can't recall her ever being in a ladder match. I mean,
I can't imagine.
I'm sure she won Money in the Bank match.
I'm sure she was. I don't remember.
Yeah, because there's only so much you can do. She's not very athletic. She's very sloppy in the ring, and she doesn't really work well with other women wrestlers. So that's why I say you should treat her how they treat what's her face for Judgment Day.
Raquel.
They should treat her how they treat Raquel. She should be this little background person, part of some little faction. Every so often comes in the ring and does something, but she's getting too much spotlight, in my opinion. But I'm fine with Naomi winning it. I think she's very good at the Money in the Bank. She's never disappointed. We'll see what it's going. Like I said, the women's Money in the Bank is rounding out nice. We'll just see where it goes.
I'll give you that. I think the women's Money in the Bank is rounding out great. I think it's going to be better than the men's match.
Well, considering who they announced for the final qualifier, 100%.
Yeah, it's gonna be Stephanie, Liv, and Ivy Nile. So it won't be Ivy Nile. So if they put in Stephanie or Liv, it's going to be a banger of a match.
Real quick before you move off, do you think with the news of May signing with WWE, do you think they crank her into this?
No.
You don't think they're put on the main roster?
I mean, they might. I don't think that we'll see her until after this is over. I think she makes her debut probably after Money in the Bank.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did, though.
I mean, they're gonna give her a prominent spot, but now it's interesting, right? I'm starting to think she's gonna go to NXT because like Stephanie's gone, Julia's gone, Jordan Grace is gone. They're all going to the main roster, so. I have a feeling she's going to go to NXT for a little while until they can get her used to WWE system, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that R-Truth is back to being useless again, and that we, no idea what we were doing there at all, but R-Truth was backstage with Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb. Again, I'm not going to call him JC Mateo. And R-Truth proceeded to call Jeff Cobb fat, which led to Husky. I'm sorry, which led to an impromptu match between the two of them, which Truth got destroyed, as to kind of be expected. And that was kind of that. And I don't really have much more to say about that. It was kind of funny in one of the segments leading up to that they showed Chelsea Green wearing a rainbow-colored mask to cover up her broken nose. That was kind of adorable. But yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And it's nice to see that we wasted a John Cena match on R-Truth.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him. That was just out of nowhere. Just throw him into a match. Let me ask you this. Has anyone considered maybe this is a going away for R-Truth too?
Probably. He's got to be getting close to retirement age. I mean, if they keep using him in segments like this is where he belongs, these goofy segments, short segments backstage, and has talent to put someone over, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but close. I think he's past. He's like in his 50s, isn't he? He's like mid-50s or something like that.
I thought he was like 49, 50.
I think he's in his 50s.
He's the old. I think he's 53.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he's already been past his prime, and he's not really utilized except for such a levity for certain segments. I will say this: he's still funny as hell with the microphone.
Yeah.
Oh,
the segment was funny.
Damn, you guys are big boned. That was great. I mean, when you want to use him for stuff like that, he's fantastic. I just understand why we had a match with him, and I mean, technically, this is probably who Cobb should have wrestled a jobber in his first match.
Yeah.
That's what they should have did, but they waited till his second match to do it.
This should have been his debut match, not LA
match. This is third match, right?
Yeah. So we had the Street Profits come out to the ring to give a quick promo leading the charge about the SmackDown Tag Team Division, quickly joined by Fraxium. And then, after that, the Motor City Machine Guns. Then after that, DIY with Candice LeRae, which kind of led to a kind of a slobber knocker of all the tag teams in there. And then obviously the Wyatt Sicks sort of appeared again and took everybody out. After the break, we led into a match between Angel Umberto and a random Javon Evans and Rey Fenix. So and Ethan Page was on commentary for this one too, to kind of hype up his match at AAA's Worlds Collide. But let's talk about this match because, again, Rey Fenix lost again. What are we doing? I get Ethan Page was in there to cause the distraction a couple of times, but why are you calling up Javon Evans, who's supposed to be the future of your division, and you bring in Rey Fenix, and all he does is lose?
What are wrestling at AAA? You're wrestling at the Worlds Collide. Which is
I know. So is Rey Fenix.
That's why they're showcasing Javon Evans since they're all in that match at Worlds Collide. And I agree it's dumb to have Phoenix again lose, but if this is a spot where they probably should have had him lost, but coupled with the previous losses, it makes it dumber. Because at least with this one, it makes sense with the whole Ethan Page, the not being on the same page as Javon Evans. This is a loss that would make sense if he wouldn't have taken those previous 2 or 3 losses that he took for no reason.
Here's the scary thing for me. Is that they're putting that NXT title, the North American title, is going to be on the line in that one, right? Yeah. That's scary to me that Phoenix is in this match because of that. Because there's only 2 ways you're going to go with it. I mean, he's not going to win it, and you already know he's not going to win this match, or is he going to win it? And if he wins it, he goes in NXT.
Maybe he works both shows.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Dom Mysterio was working both shows when he held the North American title from NXT.
Yeah, but he was already established in the WWE main roster.
I'm just saying, maybe I could see them doing that. They probably just want it though because it's WWE being racist, and they wanted to get another one of their luchadors on there. Yeah, I mean, I can probably see them. I mean, if he wins it, he has to wrestle him on NXT, obviously for the title. But I don't want to see Rey in that situation because now he's wrestling. He hasn't even established himself on the main roster, and you're going to automatically put him down into an NXT match, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Ethan Page was great, even though he's got to kind of work on his interviewing skills sitting on the sidelines. He didn't know really what to say. Yeah, but he really didn't know what to say really too much. We were sitting at the announcer's table, but he's great. He's a great heel. Yeah, they need to move him up. I'm sorry, you need to move him up to the main roster. We need another heel. They need another heel.
Love Ethan Page. Love him. Love him, love him, love him.
I don't know that they're going to move him, though, with I feel like Ricky Starks is the one that's going to be moved, considering as he just dropped the title.
Rumors have it. He may be teaming up with Cody.
I think Ricky Saints is on to bigger and better things. I think Ricky Saints is going to be the one to take the title off Oba.
Maybe. But there's a lot of stuff swirling around that he's probably actually destined to be on the main roster sooner than later.
I could see him coming to help Cody.
Mm-hmm. And they're boys.
Yeah, they are boys. Following a backstage segment with Nick Aldis, Alba Fire had a non-title match with Zelina Vega, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven were at ringside. Alba Fire was she was aggressive pretty early in the match, and then but Vega kind of quickly turned it in her favor. This match really didn't have any. There weren't any botches in this match, but this was just kind of like a nothing match. Chelsea Green kind of tried to get involved at the end, and then Vega won with a code red on Fire to pick up the pinfall for the win. I don't really have much to say about this. I mean, Chelsea Green is doing great character work, but I didn't really care much about this match at all. It was just kind of a nothing. Felt like we needed to get a women's match, another women's match on the show, and we put this one on there. This feud probably needs to end.
Every SmackDown is making me less of a fan of Zelina Vega as champion, which sucks because I liked Zelina Vega. And I mean, I still think she's better than a few people out there. But every one of these every week has just not. It feels like they're getting progressively worse and even more meaningless every week.
Well, the reason why they're getting worse is that you're talking about limited wrestlers and they're having to have to keep wrestling each other and coming up with new ways to win, for the show. And slowly but surely, it's gotten to the point where it's like I think they've done everything they could. They're pushing this past the time limit that they should have dealt with this. There's no reason for her to keep wrestling each one of them people every single week. And if and obviously if they're trying to prop up Vega, you can't have her do this. You gotta build up some storylines around her, some sort of, as Mike would say, universe around her belt, and have multiple contenders involved in the storyline with her. And this is why no one takes her serious. I mean, even now when she comes out to the ring, there's not even a pop for her.
No.
And did you guys notice WWE did muffle the crowd last night? They muffled the crowd. You can hear everything in the ring. And as soon as the crowd started chanting something, you can hear the bleeps. You can hear them allowing it to get louder, then turning it back down. I thought that was I think it really disrupted the show, if you ask me, because if you're somebody that's controlling the crowd noise, you're leaving it up to that person to decide on when to put the crowd noise in and when to take it out.
Yeah.
And it disrupts the matches because the crowd pop is what makes matches too. If you can't hear the crowd, and I can hear them telling each other what they're going to do in the ring, which you can hear quite a few times last night, that's not good. They're going to have to figure that one out. But you're right. The Vega thing, I could care less. I mean, there was nothing impressive. As another, they don't forget, WWE blew their load in the opener.
Yep.
They took all the top women, put them in the opening of the show, and you had nobody for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I agree with that. We did get a really fun video package for Julia. I like that. WWE's video package team is just top notch. They always do such a good job with that. I love Julia. She's one of my favorites. I can't wait for them to put a belt on her. Damian Priest came out to talk about beating Drew McIntyre and moving on. This was kind of a nothing segment. He addressed Jacob Fatu a little bit, and then as he was leaving, Jacob Fatu came out for his Money in the Bank qualifying match, along with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And Miz, had made mention on commentary that he had gotten Carmelo Hayes this match. Fatu and Andrade kind of took out Carmelo early in the match, and then all three men seemed like they got all of their big moves in. But the story of this match was kind of mostly how Solo and Jeff Cobb came down at the end of the match, and they were attempting to sort of help Jacob Fatu win, but they obviously kind of screwed him, sort of furthering the downfall of the relationship between Solo, Jeff Cobb, and Jacob Fatu, which is probably going to lead to a match at some point between Solo and Jacob Fatu, probably for that U.S. title at SummerSlam. But it was a good way to get it so Jacob Fatu didn't pick up the win here, because I don't think you want him in that match. So getting Andrade in there, though, as the winner, he ended up being the one to pin Carmelo Hayes, I think is the right move. I think it's a good spot for Andrade. I think he does really well in ladder matches. And overall, I give this kind of top marks. I think the right person won, and this match was probably the best match on the show.
Well, I will say that the tag match with Phoenix and them was much more entertaining than this match. It was actually fun to watch that match, even though, obviously we're questioning whether or not why they had these guys in the ring together anyway. Outside of that, they probably, in my opinion, that was the best match of the show. this was the second best match. That's fine. Andrade's not really doing anything. I don't expect him to win the Money in the Bank at all anyway. You needed another guy who's been in one of these matches before to get in the ring. I got no problem. The only problem I got with Andrade is just so stiff. He's so stiff in the ring. He doesn't he really doesn't allow people to get their moves off on him. And I think he's had criticism of that he doesn't sell himself for people. But other than that, that's fine. I think he's a good addition to it. The Money in the Bank match won't be focused on him as much. But yeah, you needed to throw. I don't think the other two guys would have made sense to put into the Money in the Bank.
I don't know. I personally thought Fatu was going to win just so we could have the interplay between him and Solo during the ladder match. But obviously, don't forget the even bigger story out of this qualifying match was the interference by Big Jim. I mean, without Big Jim on SmackDown, where are we? Like, God, I mean, I don't know. It just the Bloodline story itself is, for as awesome as it was for as long as it had been going on, I feel like it needs to end sooner rather than later. Let these guys go off and do what they need. Keep Jacob away from the Bloodline. Let him go. Like, I really enjoy all the work that he does. He's so awesome in the ring that I think he has better things that they could be doing with him. And I love Andrade having won. I think that he will bring a little bit, not quite what Phoenix would have brought because he's not quite as agile, but he'll definitely bring some more of that fun lucha style to the ladder match.
I thought they should have. I think what they're going to do, because there was a lot of stuff on the internet this past week about Jimmy, them not having plans for him. WWE didn't have no direction with him. There was people questioning whether or not he's going to get released, which I didn't question that at all. I don't think he's ever getting released as long as his brothers and family's there. He's never going anywhere. He needed to find a spot for him. I can probably see them this is kind of foreboding that maybe him and Fatu get back together, him and Jacob get back together at some point. But I mean, you're right. The problem is they got too many Bloodline people in WWE, so they have no choice but to do storylines with them. Otherwise, you cut out like 25% of your roster, so you got no choice but to use them. But I can see that. I mean, they can evolve this into something else. I mean, you can definitely give Jacob the whole Roman Reigns treatment, and kind of have the Usos kind of siding with him, and you still got Solo sitting around in the background doing his little thing. I just don't know. Are they going to add somebody else once Jacob leaves to this whole Bloodline thing? Because
I don't think so.
What do you do with JC Mateo after this? Like he's already committed to the Bloodline. So are we still trying this out?
Yeah, it's really gonna be interesting. But I think to your point, I really think it just there's gonna be a match, right? Like we have to get some kind of closure between Solo and Jacob, right? Like, I think once they do that, to both of your points, I think the Bloodline thing needs to end after that. Like, I think we're done.
Mm-hmm. And the Bloodline ends with Roman, so I don't understand why we're even holding on to the Bloodline thing, because Roman Reigns is the catalyst for the whole thing. Now the Bloodline thing doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are they going to do with Roman when he comes back?
Well, that's another thing I was about to bring up. There are, some article I was reading yesterday that there were some sort of rumors that were coming up that he has two people they supposedly are going to be aligned in his faction. Now, there are some names that were out there. One person said it'd be Dominic Mysterio. And who was the other? It was Dominic Mysterio and somebody else. I can't remember who the other wrestler was. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is clickbait. This has to be clickbait. There's no way Dominic Mysterio is all of a sudden going to be part of Roman Reigns' bloodline.
No chance in hell.
Right.
No chance.
That would be funny.
It doesn't make any sense.
He's gonna feud with Rollins. Like, I think that's gonna be your big money match at SummerSlam. It's gonna be Roman and Seth Rollins.
But he needs a stable.
He does, and I bet we see Roman Reigns come back like mid-July, probably for like 2 weeks or something like that.
Okay, I can't hold it in no longer. They said Brock Lesnar.
That'd be cool.
Brock is. They said they reached out to Brock. Well, whenever Brock's ready, they're ready to bring him back. So they're over the whole lawsuit thing. It's been reported by multiple outlets right now that Brock has an open door to come back whenever he's ready. So there was rumors circulating once that came out that maybe Brock teams up with Roman, which still doesn't really make sense.
I think that'd be awesome.
I mean, honestly, they should go undefeated. Literally, go undefeated. No, neither one of them should ever lose a match ever again together.
No. I gotta tell you, the fan in me would love a Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns just like 3-month run of just killing everybody. I think that would be cool. I think that would be so cool.
But they were thinking that there's going to be some sort of rehashing of the Shield type thing with Roman Reigns and a couple other characters, but no real names have really been confirmed.
Sean, did you freeze? Oh.
Sorry, I was looking at my computer.
So the final segment of the show had the return of the quarterback. One, Cody Rhodes, finally came back, and it was great. The crowd lost their friggin' minds, and it was awesome. What? Oh, you're just teasing him. Yeah, it was so awesome to see Cody come back. Like, the crowd blew up. They were the loudest they were all night. Cody got a obscene pop, and it was just great. And I'm fanboying hard here because I love Cody so much. But he came out to the ring, cut a hell of a promo, talked about how he's not going to hesitate again when, he gets another shot at Cena. He brought out Jey Uso, and, Jey Uso did his 4-hour entrance. Because this segment got quite a, there was because I watched the end of it in the morning, and there was 30 minutes left in the show when this segment started. So, Jey got his full entrance. Jey didn't get much to say before Cena came out. Cena didn't really say much before he brought out Logan Paul. Logan Paul did his trash talking, and after that was all kind of over with, they kind of got into a quick little scuffle, and there was definitely some tension between Cena and Logan Paul. Cody had a really funny line about going and rubbing his peacemaker or something like that, and then they all brawled, and the baby faces stood tall at the end, and that was kind of how SmackDown went off the air. But what did you guys think? I thought it was awesome to see Cody back.
It definitely showed how desperately they needed Cody to come back. I will tell you that much.
And I did find it interesting, Cody's giving Jey his flowers the way he did, almost like he was a new wrestler or something. It was kind of weird. That was a little weird for me. But overall, is this the faction for Cody now? Is it Cody? You're gonna have Jey and Sammy?
Maybe
bring Sammy over to SmackDown.
I think it's just the two biggest baby faces in the company right now, going against probably the two biggest heels in the company right now.
Yeah,
it's full blown heels.
Well, I think you do see that they're running out of stuff to say between Cody and John, because they kind of. John really just kept rehashing the same thing he said about Cody, and he declared it to Jey Uso, you're all like me and all this other stuff. So I'm interested to see what angle they're going to go with that. Do you think they're pushing this too early?
No. I mean, honestly, I think that this is going to just kind of be like a relatively nothing match. I am 100%, spoiler, we're going to do predictions next week, but spoiler, the baby faces are winning this match. Logan Paul is going to take the pin because of tension between him and John Cena. Maybe Cena takes the pin from Cody, but the baby faces are winning that match. 1,000% the baby faces are winning that match. Yes, absolutely.
Even with the law of averages there, basically, where with the baby faces standing tall, it seems like mostly.
I mean, they'll have another segment next week, but no, 1,000%. Cody's not coming back and losing to Logan Paul. There's no way.
I thought it was just weird that they included them into this storyline right at this moment.
Well, it was supposed to be your boy Fiend, but I guess he's not picking it up the way they're wanting him to pick it up. I've been seeing on the internet, they're thinking he's not picking up wrestling as well as they're wanting him to.
Does that shock any of us?
They got to stop. I mean,
Yeah.
the celebrity stuff has got to stop. I mean, because now you're dictating storylines based off of celebrities now, and they're going to ultimately, if they're not ready to go, you're going to drag out some storyline that no one cares about until that person's ready to go. I'm pretty sure at some point he's going to show up, but I mean, you're right, Mike. Maybe he's just not picking it up because he's supposed to have been introduced like weeks ago and put into a middle of a match with Cena, and it still hasn't happened.
I mean, as far as celebrities go, consider ourselves lucky that this isn't happening during that time frame where there was a different celebrity hosting every week. You remember that? Remember that insanity?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, you want to talk about terrible interaction with celebrities? We had an entire episode of Raw hosted by Dr. Phil.
Good old Vince.
Good old Vincent Kennedy.
At least now, most of the celebrities that take part in these things are actually true wrestling fans and not like these just random, oh, I'm thrown in here because you're Jerry Springer.
Yeah. And I thought the pacing of the show, I think it went fast. Didn't it seem like it was a fast show?
It did feel that way.
Like, it seemed like it was just on, and then next thing you know, it was the end, and I'm just like, I don't know.
The matches got a lot of time, and there wasn't really a lot of like talking segments in the ring. I mean, they opened one with one and they closed with one, but I mean, the matches all got a lot of time, which I think helped. But yeah, overall, that was SmackDown, guys. So overall, what was your rating for the show, and are we kind of getting hyped for Money in the Bank?
I would say I'd give this show a solid 3. Nothing too spectacular, but better than several of the more recent SmackDowns. Storylines made at least a little bit more sense. And as we're moving further into filling out the Money at the Bank field, I'm definitely getting a little bit more hyped. Curious to see what happens Monday if El Grande Americano works his way into the match and makes this a true Money in the Bank for the ages. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, I agree with a 3. It's probably one of the few. Well, it's been a while since SmackDown did a show like this because they haven't had nobody to really do too much in the ring. Where that you didn't have that much talking in it, you had a lot more wrestling in this show. Which they're going to have to figure out some sort of balance with that because you can't have a 30-minute segment of talking and like they did with Cena and Cody. You're going to have to get something else in there and not hope they or bank on that to carry the show. But yeah, it was a 3. Obviously, I mean, it's another, it's an average SmackDown show, nothing too crazy. A few things that we questioned that, why are they doing this? Why not? We do it every week. That's what we're here for. But if anybody's watching this, tell us how you feel about this particular SmackDown because I thought it was a very interesting one. It's kind of giving us a little bit of light of what maybe the future holds, but we won't truly know until Roman Reigns returns.
Yep,
Completely agree. I think that Cody coming back is huge, and I think that the show was in desperate need of its top babyface just being there, right? And I think it will continue to get better now that Cody is back. And I think once we get past Money in the Bank and we get frankly, I think once we get the belt back on Cody, which is probably going to happen at SummerSlam, he could start having some real feuds and, maybe we can build towards something else, right? Like either something with him and CM Punk or something with him and Randy Orton, which I think is, what everybody's wanting to see. So, yeah, overall, guys, that was SmackDown. And as always, please let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. And smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And have yourselves a great evening and take care.